You didn't love Mary anyway.
What? Hey, wait!
Mary's my friend. We met at the hospital last year.
Stop lying. Laura, I'm sorry.
In Silent Hill 2, Laura is dead, and let me tell you why. Going over some dialogue between Laura and James in the Lakeview hotel scene, we learn Laura spent a lot of time with Mary in a palliative care unit. If you're not familiar with what palliative care is, in simple words, it's a special sort of care given to patients with terminal illness who don't have much time left. The nurses and doctors in the palliative care are trained in a way to be delicate and understanding to the patients, as the illness they suffer from tends to impact their mind and personality, making them become bitter, lack self-control, and so much more. It truly is a difficult place to be, and unfortunately, many family members tend to find it impossible to spend time with their loved ones as it becomes extremely difficult.
What do you want, James? Flowers? I don't want any damn flowers. Just go home already. Look at me. I'm disgusting. Between the disease and the drugs, I look like a monster. Well, what are you looking at? Get the hell out of here. Leave me alone already. I'm no use to anyone. I'll be dead soon anyway. It'd be easier if they just killed me. But I guess the hospital's making a nice profit off of me. Why are you still here? I told you to go. Are you deaf? Don't come back. James. Wait. Don't go. Don't leave me alone. I didn't mean what I said. Please. Tell me I'll be okay. Tell me I'm not gonna die. Help me.
So this sort of job is not cut out for everyone, and that is something that we see happen to James. So this sort of job is not cut out for everyone, and the trained healthcare professionals need to be well trained for it. My question is, how Laura, who we find in the surreal world of Silent Hill, found her way in the palliative care unit and befriended Mary. The very first thing that pops in one's mind is that Laura was most likely a patient herself who met Mary in the same unit. Another idea is Laura could be there as one of her loved ones was admitted to the palliative care unit like her mother. But that wouldn't make much sense, as through the dialogue and the letter that she reads, we learn that she spent almost as long as Mary spent time in the palliative care unit. Mary also befriended her to the point of feeling that she could be her daughter. Mary would of course not feel that way if Laura had a mother right there, and Laura wouldn't be spending so much time in the palliative unit as she would have school or other things to do. At most, she would spend several hours a week there to see her mother, if it was the mother who was admitted to the palliative care unit.
My dearest Laura, I'm leaving this letter with Rachel to give to you after I'm gone. I'm far away now, in a quiet, beautiful place. Please forgive me for not saying goodbye before I left. Be well, Laura. Don't be too hard on the sisters. And Laura, about James. I know you hate him because you think he isn't nice to me, but please, give him a chance. It's true, he can be a little surly sometimes, and he doesn't laugh much. But underneath, he's a really sweet person. I love you, Laura. I love you like my very own daughter. I wish things were different. I wish we could be happy together, like we talked about. Even so, I know you will have a good life. You're a strong, smart, beautiful girl. Happy 8th birthday, Laura. Your friend, Mary.
Laura. How old are you?
I turned 8 last week.
That means... Mary couldn't have died 3 years ago. Could she really be here? Is this the quiet, beautiful place she was talking about?
Me and Mary talked a lot about Silent Hill. She even showed me all her pictures. She really wanted to come back. She also talked a lot about you, you know? She even...
So according to all of this, if Laura was admitted as a patient in the palliative care unit, that means that she was suffering from a terminal illness, which means that she didn't have much time to live. Also, if Mary felt so much as being her mother, might suggest that maybe she was an orphan, or maybe her mother didn't visit her as often, which Mary took pity on her and felt bad for her, maybe even empathized with her, as James wasn't visiting her so much either. Now put a pin in that idea, we'll get back to it later in the video. Now let's go over how and why Laura would be in Silent Hill, observing it as a surreal place it is meant to be, manifesting whatever the visitor has in their mind. For Laura, Silent Hill is not a nightmarish hellhole with monsters crawling all over the place. In fact, it is so nice that she is often seen drawing all over the place and even being shocked to why a grown person like James is there.
What's a little girl like you doing here anyway?
I don't know. What's a big dum-dum like you doing here anyway?
This sounds as if she is seeing a large playground meant for kids. The reason she goes to Silent Hill is because she is looking for Mary, and she knew from their conversation Mary's favorite place was Silent Hill, and she always wanted to revisit it. She even tells Laura that she will go there again, but as we know, Mary is dead and only her soul would be able to travel to this place. My thought in here is Mary never returned to the palliative unit and Laura was concerned about her, so she chose to go to Silent Hill and find her, assuming that she has gone there. But that is also because maybe she was very alone in the unit, only having nurses take care of her, further proving that maybe Laura was all alone, not having a mother. But Laura, someone with terminal illness, would never look this healthy and would not be able to leave the hospital and go to Silent Hill on her own. How did she even manage going there? Not being able to drive, with the tunnel even being closed down, and in general not being an easy place to go to. Also, would she not have parents to worry about her and prevent her from leaving on her own? She could not travel to this place if she was healthy, let alone being observed and monitored in a palliative unit in a hospital. It all sounds too unrealistic for a young little girl who was admitted in a palliative care unit to go to a place to look for an adult woman she befriended in her care unit. Laura, being an innocent girl, sees Silent Hill through an innocent perspective with not so much baggage. She only has beauty and playfulness in her mind, and hence she sees the place as a playground. We also see how she keeps running away from James and in general not liking him so much. It seems as if he is the only monster that she sees in this place. Based on whatever was discussed between her and Mary, she somehow built an image of James not being a good person. So it is possible Silent Hill transformed him and made him look like a monster, deserving punishment, and Laura saw all of that. But somehow, towards the end, James becomes more likable to the point that Laura trusts him. That is after he is reminded how he killed her, how he killed Mary, and that he is remorseful for it, willing to do what he can to save her. that might have redeemed him in the perspective of Laura. So according to everything discussed, all the scenes and the information we are given, in a summary, it is very unlikely for a little girl to be able to travel to Silent Hill on her own. She sees that the town is empty and barren, even though she sees it as a playground. So how would she be able to get there with no public transport, no one to ask around, and a challenging and difficult journey to get there? Her family would definitely not give her permission to travel to a town on her own to find an adult person. According to what we learned, being in the hospital, being under the observation and care of nurses, they would definitely not leave her unsupervised and not let her go anywhere or out of the hospital. And finally, she would not look so healthy and energetic for someone suffering from terminal illness. Now let's go over what happened to Mary and James and how they are connected to Laura. In my previous video explaining all the endings, I admittedly made a mistake thinking Mary had died 3 years ago, which, thanks to your comments, I did more research and learned the truth. It seems Mary did in fact go home after the advice of her nurses to reunite with James in her last days. But James, being overtaken by pain and suffering, blamed his wife, Mary, for all of it, wants to put an end to his never-ending nightmare, smothering her to death with a pillow. It's only after she is dead when he comes to his senses to what a monstrous thing he had done, killing the most important thing in his life, which causes him to snap, with his mind repressing this unforgivable and traumatic action. James all of a sudden has a mental shutdown, thinking his wife died 3 years ago when her illness started showing, when she was diagnosed. What he does next is very tragic and honestly difficult to talk about, even though it is just a video game. He takes the lifeless body of his wife, Mary, places her gently in the back of his car and travels to the place where she said that she wants to revisit again, being her favorite, Silent Hill. James takes his wedding ring off, but as we can see, the mark is still visible, confirming that he just recently took it off. To James, he goes down a rabbit hole of delusion, forgetting he ever killed his own wife, thinking the cancer took her life 3 years ago, and she is not in the back of his car. This action was too tragic and difficult for James to admit and take responsibility for, so instead, he took the easy way of completely shutting down and forgetting about it. Instead of thinking he willingly and intentionally came here himself, he thinks that Mary sent him a letter instructing him to go there where she is waiting for him. Keep in mind, this is all a figment of his imagination. There is no letter, and Mary, of course, is dead, lying motionlessly in the back of his car. This is by far very traumatic and scary, to how his mind tries to protect and shelter him, yet completely failing him. Silent Hill, alongside his troubled mind, then manifests the hell and nightmare Silent Hill is, with all the monsters being representation of James' guilt, pain, trauma, and suffering. So, how is this all related to Laura? Well, what's interesting is that Laura somehow finds herself in Silent Hill right after Mary dies. It's as if she was telepathically connected to her. As soon as Mary dies, Laura goes to Silent Hill to look for her, as if her ghost was made aware that Mary is free from her body now and she might be in Silent Hill. The surreal nature of Silent Hill allows James and other visitors to see Laura and communicate with her. This yet again suggests that Laura is dead, as how would she instantly know Mary is dead? What's more interesting is that she gets a feeling Mary is here, desperately trying to look for her, but failing to find her. It turns out Mary is in fact here in Silent Hill, but not in the hotel or the beautiful forest or nature of Silent Hill. Instead, she is at the back of James' car, being very dead. So Laura is not wrong thinking Mary is here and traveling to Silent Hill. She just simply doesn't know exactly where. Also in the letter Mary wrote for Laura, she wishes her a happy birthday, a letter written a few weeks ago before she goes to reunite with James at home. Laura says that she is 8 now, which means she possibly died before turning 8 years old. Finally, we can easily confirm James has the ability to see dead people and even communicate with them, not making his communications with Laura impossible. As in one of the endings, Stillness, we see the ghost of Mary appearing from the back of the car and comforting James to move on and be happy.
What's wrong, honey?
you so much. I am sorry. I am so sorry.
It's okay.
Will you wait for me?
James. I've always been waiting for you.
So it's very impossible for Laura to be a ghost and for James to easily communicate with her, given the surreal nature of Silent Hill and the connection that they have to each other. This is a video that I wanted to make for a few days now, and now was finally the time. Let me know what are your thoughts about this theory, and tell me your own down in the comments. As always, thanks for checking out my video, it really means a lot. It's been your host Star, and I will see you on the next one. Have a fantastic day.